So you tried Googling how to calculate your daily protein intake and read several articles with conflicting information that left you a tad confused. If you're new to my channel, I'm Coach Gabe and I have over a decade of coaching experience in the fitness space, and this is my wife, who is a registered dietitian with a master's degree in nutrition and dietetics, who helped me prepare the calculations you can use to optimize your protein intake, whether you have a weight loss goal or are looking to put on some lean muscle mass. Now, let's get right into the good stuff. If you have a weight loss goal, you are going to want to multiply a number within the range of 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein by your weight in kilograms, which will give you the total grams of protein you'll consume per kilograms body weight. So, for those of you who live in America like I do, and maybe don't know your weight in kilograms, just take 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein, multiply it by your body weight in pounds, and simply divide that number by 2.2, which is roughly how many pounds there are in a kilogram, and this will give you your daily protein goal. Now, for those of you wondering, why is there a range between 1.2 and 1.6 grams per kilogram body weight for protein intake? The answer, in short, is that there are going to be differences based on how active you are, the amount of body fat you have, age, and the type of exercise you're doing. But for the sake of simplicity, let's say that you have a sedentary job and strength train 3 times per week. You would likely fall into the lower range of 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight, mainly because that moderate amount of strength training you're doing requires a decent amount of muscle repair, but is offset by your sedentary job. Whereas somebody who is physically active at work 5 days per week who stacks the same amount of strength training 3 days per week would fall into the middle range of this at 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. And someone who does any more exercise or intense training on top of an active lifestyle would, generally speaking, fall into the higher end of this range at 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram body weight, which explains why this range exists among other factors that get too far into the weeds for this video. However, there is one major exception to this equation that I need to address if you have a weight loss goal. For those of you who have a significant amount of body fat to lose for your height and fall into a BMI of 30 or greater, this protein calculation may put you at a quantity of protein that is unrealistic for you to consume. So if you fall into this category, rather than using this equation, you can simply use your goal body weight in pounds and use that number for grams of protein per day. So if you weigh 290 pounds, but your goal body weight is 190 pounds, you would shoot for 190 grams of protein per day. For those of you trying to do this in kilograms, just take your ideal weight in kilograms and multiply it by 2.2 to get this figure. So you've calculated your protein intake, and now you're probably thinking, that's a ton of protein, man. And yeah, it's a lot, but here's the deal. Recent research backs up these protein ranges because they help with appetite control and body weight management. When it comes to weight loss, a high protein diet is key for losing the right kind of weight. And what I mean by that is it's crucial for preserving muscle while shedding fat, because without enough protein, you risk losing muscle mass along with the fat during calorie restriction, which we don't want. And a high protein intake helps maintain that muscle tissue, ensuring better body composition as you lose weight. Plus, protein-rich diets are more satiating, meaning you'll feel full for longer. And this can really help cut down on overall calorie intake and those late-night cravings that tend to derail folks who don't eat enough protein on their weight loss journey. I see it all the time. Once folks get their protein intake right, they feel more satisfied and less tempted to snack, and you will too. Now, there comes a time in nearly everyone's strength training journey when they want to add some mass to that ass, or build strong shoulders and a chiseled chest. And research for this supports a range from 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram body weight up to 2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. However, I typically like to put folks between 1.6 grams of protein to 2 grams of protein when trying to increase lean muscle mass, just from the results I have seen over the past decade plus of coaching. And the higher end of this spectrum, by the way, is why so many people just simplify muscle gain and say to eat 1 gram protein per pound body weight, because it's easy to remember and falls near the top end of that range. However, a lot of folks have a hard time consuming that quantity of protein because it's so filling. So anywhere in this range will suffice for the everyday working professional. However, 1.6 grams will likely be plenty for those of you who are just training 3 times per week like the folks I work with. Whereas those of you competing in a sport or who are really going hard 4 to 5 days per week on strength work likely want to be between 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram body weight up to 2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight, which makes your equation for muscle building look like this. Now Now, you might be asking, why is the protein intake so much higher? And well, when you're increasingly muscle mass, you are typically in a bulk phase or a maintenance phase, meaning that you are getting adequate carbohydrate to optimally fuel your training sessions. Because carbohydrate is our body's preferred fuel source, and you are actually eating enough carbohydrate in a maintenance phase or bulking phase to replenish the stored form of carbs in your muscle known as glycogen, which also means you're typically able to squeeze out a few more reps and lift heavier weight, which creates a greater breakdown of muscle tissue, which then needs to be repaired in order to increase the muscle mass. Whereas in a cut, you're just simply not getting enough calories to hit your workouts at the same intensity while making significant gains. So you typically just don't need as much. And with all of that information, now you are armed with the knowledge to calculate your optimal protein needs based on a variety of factors. And while this is a great launching point, you will accelerate your results even faster when you pair this protein intake with a training regimen that suits your schedule. So if you're a busy professional looking to kickstart your fat loss journey with time-efficient workouts, check out this video here to learn the easiest way to lose weight with a busy schedule, and I'll see you on the next one.